What's going on, man? It's Passion Over Profit podcast, where it's not just a podcast.
A lifestyle, my God.
As y'all see, we in a new spot. We got my boy Midwest Pete in here, aka Latesmans West. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
Gotta have
sir.
you on, bro.
No, definitely. Shit, bro. Last time, like where we really met was Fort Wayne at that event.
Mm-hmm.
3 tables, bro. It was like 3 tables, 4 tables, man.
Yeah.
When was that?
4 years ago?
That was like 2.5, 3.
3 years ago? Mm-hmm.
Literally, bro. Yeah, and we were just opening up our store. And I think you guys were just opening up too, right?
Yeah.
We were just all chopping it up there.
It was crazy. Yeah. It was a little event. It was called Sneaker Bot Fest.
Yeah.
That was like the event that made me. So like we were gonna open up a store regardless,
Mm-hmm.
but that was the event that made us really choose like Fort Wayne, just because like he said, it wasn't like that crazy of an event, but the fact that like we were like one of the only tables there, and there was just so many people like buying, we're like, oh, like this area.
Oh,
needs
you showed at
this.
that event?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, this area needs this. Like, so that's what it's like. Okay, we're gonna kind of choose this spot.
Yeah, I always remember that event because it's just me and my boy. We thought it was gonna be like some crazy event, bro.
You know,
When we
that's-
put it on C4, I was like, damn, we gonna have to make the best out of it.
And the way they advertised it, I was like,
Right? No, killer advertisement. I ain't gonna lie.
You said Fort Wayne's pretty big, right? I've
Yes.
never been there.
Fort Wayne is actually like the
Huge.
second biggest city in Indiana. Like for folks that don't know, it's Indy and then it's Fort Wayne.
Okay.
I was stationed there when I was working in construction for like a week.
Yeah.
Bro, I just went to the mall and just off of there, I just seen like I was like, damn, people really live over here.
Oh yeah. yeah.
Sometimes you're so into your city, you're just like, damn, you kind of forget the outside world.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then like, if you have the craziest though, if you ask people from Fort Wayne to them, like, because they live there, they're like, oh, it's just Fort Wayne. Like, it's not really anything crazy, but like,
I think that's with anybody in their city.
you know what I mean? Like, I guess you probably go to the city, like, happens the same thing, but no, like Fort Wayne's really big. There's a lot of people, a lot of big diversity cultures there, and just like the only thing they were missing is kind of a store like ours. So.
Big college town too, right?
Big college town. There's like 3 or 4 campuses like in the area. So.
I know Purdue's down there. Who else?
Purdue, yeah, IPFW. Yeah, okay. IPFW's down there. What is it? Indiana? Not Indiana State, but one of the IUs are there too. Forgot. But there's like 3, and then there's like Ivy Tech and all that kind of stuff too.
Damn. What got you into shoes, bro?
What got me into shoes? Well, I've always been into sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
I just, in the beginning, kind of just like everybody else, it's a generic story, right? Like, you grow up not being able to get them or afford them and stuff like that. And then, like, I remember it was probably in college where I really wanted to start buying shoes for me. So, like, what I did is I learned that, okay, if you sell a couple of things, then it kind of pays for your own.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I don't really have enough money to buy brand new shoes. So then I started selling used shoes. Used was like my bread and butter when I first started. And
So
like,
you started selling used shoes?
yeah, I started selling used shoes because like at the time I didn't have a lot of money. So like for what I could buy one brand new shoe for, I could buy like 3 used shoes for.
Around this time, were you like in high school?
College.
Oh, okay.
How old are you now?
27.
27.
Okay. Where'd you graduate from?
Defiance, Ohio. And then I went to the University of Toledo for college.
Oh, shit. So you're just buying used shoes, cleaning them up, and then selling them? And
Yeah,
shit?
so like I'd go buy, like Jordan 1s were probably, Jordan 1s and Yeezy 350s were like my bread and butter back then.
Oh,
So
shit.
like you just go buy a Jordan 1 for like $100, $70, clean it up, and so we're gonna pay like $120, $150 for it.
Damn, that's crazy. That's dope as fuck. Did you ever get into like the kind of waiting in lines type of thing?
Yep. So then we transitioned, and then me, Serapio always, he's the other one. You met him when we were at that Sneaker Bot Fest. I was the other guy that was with me.
Okay.
But he always did retail loops. So then when we kind of started doing that together, and when we started doing retail loops, it was like, it wasn't like 1 or 2 pairs or 3 or 4 pairs. Like we'd go to a store or we'd hit raffles, and it'd be like 70 pairs.
Jeez.
Oh,
70
shit.
pairs is fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
So like we were like big loopers.
So you hit Fort Wayne a lot.
Yeah, so like our area, we hit like the tri-state. So it was like, Ohio, Michigan, Indiana.
Jeez.
So we were just like on
'cause
Saturday.
you're not that
yeah,
far
on
from-
Saturday you'd have like 3 groups, and you would call your friends, and you'd be like, "Hey, this car's going over here. This car's going over here. This car's going over here." And then you just go there. You give them the money to go buy the shoes. They buy the shoes, and by the end of the day, you got about 70 pairs on you.
That's dope.
That's a lot of pairs for release.
And that's
man.
at the time when releases really went for something.
Exactly. You know what I
For
mean?
over
Like,
retail.
yep.
That was a little bit after COVID then, or before.
It was like about probably a year before COVID, and then like COVID happened. I think the next cook that we did after that was probably Royal Toes, because that was the first time you could buy Finish Line
I
site.
remember Royal Toes.
And then Jordan 9 Charcoals was the first release that came out after COVID. So we did those ones too. But yeah, probably like our biggest ones before we opened the store was like White Oreo 4s, UNC 4s.
White Oreo 4s was a cook.
White Oreo 4s was a cook. We probably grabbed 100 pairs of those.
And UNC 4s.
Yeah, UNC 4s we grabbed a lot. And then like, it kind of got to the point so that where some stores were starting to kind of pick up on it. And so they would stop letting us pick them up.
Damn,
like they would be like,
weak.
yeah, they'd be like, hey, there's no more pairs or this or that. And we'd be like, and like, in the back of our head, we're like, I mean, we know there's more pairs.
Yeah,
like,
we used to go
hit
for
them all.
these.
You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
We hit all the pairs, but yeah.
Shit. One thing too. So it's Lace Midwest. How many of you guys is it?
So there's me and then 3 of my other buddies. There's Danny Asoff and Kasem Asoff. They're brothers.
Okay.
We met them in high school. I knew Kasem a little bit before high school, but then met his brother as well. And then Serapio, me and him are childhood best friends. So I met him once upon a time. I lived in Schaumburg, Illinois. And then I moved to Ohio. I moved to Ohio when I was like 7 or 8, and like Serapio was like one of my first friends I met, and just since then we just kind of been friends. So
That's dope as fuck.
yeah, then we opened.
That's hard as fuck. Damn, so you kind of been all over the place.
A little bit, yeah.
Damn.
So
Where have you spent most of your time?
probably Ohio.
Ohio.
Yep. Yeah. So Ohio. Like after I was 17, I ended up moving to Toledo, Ohio, and then my adult life pretty much I kind of just did that. Went to school, worked, and then just kind of grew up and learned everything over there.
Hell yeah.
You were born in Illinois?
No, I was born in Defiance, and then we moved to Illinois. Like,
Okay.
Defiance is where?
it's like 40 minutes from Fort Wayne, so it's
Okay.
like.
No, yeah, shit. I was born here in Indy, bro. That's really all I know.
Yeah?
Okay, yeah. So hearing you've been 3 different places, I'm just like, damn. I can't even imagine.
You're Mexican, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Fully Mexican?
Yeah, fully Mexican.
Raza.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I always get confused a lot with being Arabian, bro.
Yeah.
Because of the beard.
My but Serapio, they do that too. Like we'll go like back in Toledo is like everybody's like that, and so they're like, oh, you're one of us, and he's like, no, I'm Mexican.
Hell yeah. How'd you guys come up with the name Lace Midwest, bro?
So at first, once upon a time, we used to be called Squeaker Heads.
That's a great. Oh, you did tell me.
Once upon a time, we were called Squeaker Heads. So instead of Squeaker, it's Squeaker because like the noise the shoe makes. And so we did that. But then like once the 4 of us came to the store, we wanted to kind of make up a new name that unified the 4 of us because it was all of us going to business. And then we also wanted to make up a name that like, okay, one store wasn't our goal when we first opened up a store. So we're like, what's kind of like a brand, right? We wanted to make a brand out of it. And then so we just started chopping up names, and Lace Midwest is kind of like what we ended up on.
That's a great name.
Yeah, we figured like, okay, if the goal is to take over the Midwest, then Lace Midwest, you know what I mean?
With it's funny that you said Squeaker Heads because now that you said I do remember because you guys had a little
those hang tags.
The little hang tag, yeah, the little hang tag.
That's what everybody remembers us from. Yeah, we had the hang tag. So kind of like how I'll show you a picture later on, but like StockX had like their tags, so we made our own tag out of our logo.
Oh, okay.
And that's where we put the price and all that kind of stuff on. So
shit.
we got a shoe from us that came with that tag.
That was hard. I remember that too because I think we got a pair off you guys that had it. One thing too, how was that change? Kind of just going from basically because that's essentially like a rebrand type of thing. How was that kind of process?
I think it was easier than what I would say most rebrands would be because we did it in a perfect transition of like before the store opened. So like the store didn't open and then we renamed it. We opened up the store with that new name. You know what I mean? So the current followers at the time we had like 1,000 followers under Squeaker Heads, and then we renamed it for those people. We kind of threw it out there, and then the page ended up growing to 10K, and then like but the rest of those followers knew it as Lace Midwest. So like I said, I think it was just a good timing for like the rebrand.
Right on time.
Yeah, exactly. I think the hardest thing was just like internally, like changing the name because it's like, okay, you started it like this, and it's like
you have emotional attachment.
You know what I mean? You have emotional attachment to it, but then like you kind of look into like the vision, and you're like, okay, this is gonna be this. This is gonna be something bigger. So you get okay with that.
Definitely. One thing I really like is how you guys your collection just chilling here.
Yeah.
How many pairs do you have like that are personals?
Probably so before this summer, I sold a bunch this summer, but I probably had 140 pairs.
Jeez.
Yeah. Right now I'm probably sitting around 80.
You got bangers though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Everything outside the box are like some hitters.
What's in that Tiffany box above the Union 4?
That is oh, that's a. You want to grab that real quick, Kim? That Nike SB, the light blue. No, right there.
Yeah, right there.
That's, I believe it's my. It's the one I'm thinking of. Oh, this is a Crater Gray. So these are from 2013, 14 maybe?
Bro, I just seen somebody wearing these the other day. His pair was super beat though. You know who had it? Jair.
Jair?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
His shit is
I haven't
beat
worn
as
this.
shit.
This is dead stock.
I was about to say this. It's clean as fuck.
Yeah. And then I also have another one that's actually one of my favorites is a De La Soul. I think it's the
There you
bottom
go,
one though. I don't want to. If you want to grab it,
The
you
green
can.
De La Soul?
Yeah.
This one's tough.
Yeah. Strappy actually gave this to me for Christmas.
For real. That's a nice shoe, bro. Skinny box too.
And then this one, like this used to be my favorite pair of my collection, but yeah, this is a good pair too. It was a hard pair to find.
I
So.
always see like 12 and up in
Yeah,
these.
so-
These look good in this size, bro. And
I said this is definitely one of my favorite pairs in the collection for sure.
That's my size too. I'm 8.5.
So
What
you
was the
usually-
first sneaker you remember buying for yourself?
First sneaker I remember buying for myself. It's nothing crazy, honestly. I remember the first sneaker I probably bought was after high school. It was like a Nike Blazer. It was the
Blazer.
first shoe I bought for myself, and that's kind of like that's kind of why like the Ama, you know those Amas that just came out, the airships.
Yeah.
Yep.
I really like those a lot because like it reminds
That's
me
a
of
clean
that.
shoe,
Yeah.
bro.
Mhm.
People slept on
It's
that.
a lot. It's one of my daily wears for sure. Like that one. Like I wear those. I wear the Sally Crocs a lot, and then
The Sallies, yeah.
and then I wear a couple New Balances, but those are probably my go-tos.
My go-tos were probably like Forces and just like my black hat Forces.
You got the CLB Forces.
Yeah. I had to double up on those.
Yeah,
That's some
I got a
money.
dead stock pair over there too. But
Speaking of Drake, real quick, correct me if I'm wrong. So I had you know how like obviously on your Explore page shit just pops up.
yeah,
So I seen a thing that said, "It is honestly never mind a slept on album," and I was like, "It really is." And then I think I seen you liked it.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but that album is a slept
yeah.
on.
Oh, super slept on. I remember back in the day when we used to have a podcast called Culture Chat. I think we still have one of the videos up there. But it was like right when Honestly Never Mind came on, where like we did a video of it where it's saying like, will this be like a classic like in the future?
Oh,
And
shit.
so yeah, I really like it. I think
What'd
it's
you
just
think?
like
It'll be a
I like.
classic?
Oh yeah. I think it'll be a
think so,
classic.
so.
It's definitely slept on, but like a lot of his albums like that are different are slept on.
Yeah.
So like and then like people end up liking it and stuff like that.
Takes a while.
It takes a while. I thought it was a good summer album, honestly. Like just the vibe of it. You
Bro, I
know
was
what I mean?
bumping
Like,
it this morning.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, this is a slept
it's
on
a, it's a
album.
good like mellow album. Like to me personally, like I don't listen to a lot of music in the morning because like I just like to get my head right. And then like other than that, or if I do, it's kind of like mellow like that to where it's like boom. Or I don't know. You know what like lo-fi is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where it's kind of like
That's some cool
lo-fi
shit.
music like that. So
Yeah.
that's why I really liked it too.
I like it because just some shit you just bought. It's got like, it's got substance. It's not just rap where it's just a whole bunch of 808s and drums.
It
and
was
just boom,
definitely,
boom,
yeah,
boom,
it's
you
definitely
know?
nice.
What is a day in Pete's life look like?
A day in my life.
Yep.
It really depends on the day, but like I'd probably say on average, I wake up, especially during the summer, I'm more on a routine because it's nicer out. So like in the summer, I try to wake up, I'll go for a little walk, like 20, 30 minutes just to get my mind right. I don't use my phone, I don't do any of that. And then after that, I try to drink a coffee. I'll do a little bit of laptop work because like a big thing that I'm trying to do this year is get better at reading reports. So like because I think like in order to be successful in this industry or really any industry, you have to have an understanding of your data and like what you're doing and what you're putting out because like the biggest thing is I'm sure in your store compared to my store, we sell completely different items.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the same thing where especially us, like we having two stores, each store doesn't sell the same item. So it's like if I just constantly say I buy something for $4 and I just completely double it, it might not work that way. So like the biggest thing is I got to learn how to read the data, read the reports, and be like, okay, what sells over here? What sells over here? And then I start accurately buying and stuff like that.
That
too.
is very true. What works some spot might not work in another
Exactly.
spot.
Like
That is
one
very true.
area might be completely dunks. One area might be completely easy. Some areas like okay, they like the GR. So it's like you got to kind of learn so that way you can curate each inventory. Because,
And also it changes with the seasons.
exactly.
Yeah, it's never.
And then so like once you're like I said, I try to like every day I wake up, I try to look at reports at least like an hour to see what the store's doing, what they're doing on a month basis, what they're doing on a 2-week basis, so I can look at it and I can be like, okay, this is kind of what's popping right now in these stores. This is what's popping right now in the season. And then we like I said, we just curate and like how he's saying. I can even then look back in last year's sales and be like, okay, last year this is what was kicking in, so this is how we get ready for this season.
Yeah, that's actually crazy that you mentioned that because I've just recently started getting my head more in that space when it comes down to like figuring out how much I sell pre-owned monthly and then new monthly.
Exactly.
'Cause I do sell a lot of pre-owned, so it's kind of just figuring that out. And even just like you said, bro, curation, that's something that I just been really kind of focusing on too, because that's super important.
Yeah, because like I said, I think the biggest thing, and I always kind of preach this to everybody, it's like, it's more than just selling sneakers. It's more than just buying sneakers. Like anybody can really go and buy sneakers. You know what I mean? So it's like, but like you have to know your community. You have to know your audience. You have to know who you're selling to, and you have to just kind of have an understanding of that. And like same thing, like depending on the area. Like in Fort Wayne, in the beginning, we didn't have a 150 wall. But over here, it's a lot of budget-friendly customers, so it's like, okay, let me make a 151 under, so that way people can come shop during the slow seasons or stuff like that. And like understanding your reports and understanding your data helps you out during your slow seasons because then you understand, okay, during these slow times, this is what's going to move.
That is very true. Understanding your data helps you out during slow seasons. That is very true. We were just talking about how just slow seasons, because he just posted some recent stuff lately, and I was just like, damn. I think when it comes down to it, bro, knowing how to adjust during those times, that is what really separates anybody from real people that are just selling shoes.
Exactly.
You know,
it's like
people who aren't stuck in their ways.
100%. And it's like, if you're truly building a brand, then it's constant innovation, right? So it's constant change. And kind of like how I was showing you at the shop earlier, that like our big thing, our next big moves are focusing on our brand solely. Whereas like I told you, I don't really believe strongly that like Spider, Hellstar, and all this stuff's gonna sell forever. So it's like if you focus on your brand and you start selling merch and you start selling all this kind of stuff, like that's gonna end up what's carrying you. Like to me, even like the way the sneaker market's going, like sneakers might not even carry, but they gotta be there forever because that's what brings people in the door, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, now what is your part where you're gonna start making money on? Okay, it's gonna be your brand, it's gonna be on your name.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, especially nowadays, everybody's trying to do a store, everybody's trying to do this or that, and the one thing, like I said, they don't know it's more than just sneakers. It's your brand. It's who you are. It's
branding
who the store is.
Super
it's
important,
key.
bro.
Like I said, like you guys, like I told you like last week, I think you guys do like a great job in it. Like I've been watching you like the same amount of time you've been watching me. Like I think like
we've been following each other for a minute.
You know
bro.
what I mean?
And it's
Yeah.
just dope to constantly see us just constantly growing and
Yeah.
just evolving. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Going with the flow. I know branding for sure, bro, is something that I've been really working on too lately. Just really with everything that you've been saying, bro, is like, for example, one thing me and my boy were talking about is like, bro, if you go to Mexico or if you go to like Spain, anywhere, and you tell them sneaker plus, they're gonna look at you like they don't know what that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So having a brand, that's something that's really important because they see recognition.
Yep.
They see those colors, you want them to automatically think you.
Yeah.
They see your logo, you want them to know that that's you.
exactly. Yeah,
And that's it's just building a community and a culture around it.
yeah. That's super big. I think like our next big stuff that we're trying to do to start that is like, I don't know if you guys saw the story last week, but we made a Discord for our buying. So
That's
like,
dope.
yeah, we made a Discord server to where like you submit a ticket, you hit a button, it submits a ticket, it puts you into a one-on-one with one of our buyers. So a one-on-one thread where you submit your stuff and boom. So that way, especially like having multi-stores, this helps to where like each buyer from each store can look at it, buy what they need to buy, boom, it's going to a certain store, right? And then that way too, within that community, we can capitalize on the members in there and make like a community chat or like another chat where it's like fit of the day. It's just to engage with the people so that way it continues to build the brand and stuff like that too. So like I think a perfect example of kind of building brands would be stores like Private Selection or Common Hype, to where like if you look at Yamato's Twitter, like he's talking about, the main thing he's talking about isn't buying lists of sneakers, it's okay, this is the next order of merch. This is the next order of shorts. And like that's kind of what's pushing their store and stuff like that too. So that's just kind of like our next goal.
That is a very big step, and it's one of the hardest too.
I agree.
It's definitely one of the hardest because at the end of the day, Jordan's gonna sell. But it's like
They sell themselves.
You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of history behind it already.
And that's like my part why like they got to be in the store no matter what, right? Like shoes are part of it. Always, because like you said, it's going to sell itself, or it's an attraction. Even at the end of the day, I'm sure the same thing happens to your store that happens to mine. People come in because of what you have. They might not buy, but they're going to come in.
Exactly.
They want to see it. It's like,
They want to see it in hand.
especially being in the mall, one thing I learned is like a lot of kids don't see this stuff besides online.
Yeah.
So they come in, they're like, oh wow, this is like
They're
StockX.
amazed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
no
like
cap.
StockX.
It's an
So
existing culture already.
exactly. And to them, because of the internet and because of socials, in their head, okay, this is like StockX, I can't really afford this. But now it's like, okay, it's our job to curate something to where you can afford it. Or you look through a rack, oh, this isn't that bad.
Oh shit, I could actually grab
exactly.
this. Yeah. No, that's very true. Me and EG were talking too. It's crazy because somebody had told me yesterday, brother. We were just talking about sneakers and stuff, and we were talking about how it's an opinionated market, and I told EG, I was like, the first thing that I came in my head, and I told bro, I was like, shit, I mean, it's very risky because it is an opinionated market, but at the end of the day, people are always gonna have opinions.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's
not everybody's gonna have the same opinion. There's something that caters to everybody.
like those off whites, the ones with the little heel thing that I was like, these are crazy.
The low blazer,
Bro, somebody will buy that.
You know what I mean?
shit,
But
though.
yeah, exactly. Nobody likes those, but some people. It's funny because it's exactly the same thing. Where it's like,
shout out Minor.
right?
like people come in, they'll be like, "Oh, this shoe is the craziest in the world," and in my head, I'm like, "That's crazy that he just said that."
You're like, no way.
Bad taste.
Yeah, like that's the one, you know, and that's the one thing that really, like, I would say, like, matured me into like this industry is like being in a mall. You get every type of shopper, right? So it's like
sure.
when you're an individual reseller, you're only selling things like. As much as you don't want to think you're opinionated when you're an individual reseller, you're opinionated. You know what I mean?
Super.
Like you're grabbing what you kind of like, or you're grabbing what you think you like.
Yeah.
So where like when you're over here, you just really grab whatever because you're feeling the shelf, and then you learn, you're like, well, that just sold. Like,
Literally.
It's just crazy. Like anything was selling. I remember the beginning of Fort Wayne when we were really just filling it because we had to fill it. We even had like some AI Georgetowns like questions, and those sold. And
That's
I'm like,
funny
this
as
is
fuck.
crazy. I'm like, what the heck?
It's shit like that is
And they
crazy.
be the happiest customers.
The happiest customers.
I've been looking for these forever. You're like, oh shit.
No way.
Come on, let's wrap it up.
I've been trying to get rid of them forever.
No, it's funny because I remember one time some dude came in with some, I don't even know what they were, bro. It was like a mid, but it was extremely weak. And I was like, to be honest, bro, I don't know if I'll take these. He's like, what? These are hard. And then right there in that instant, I was like, if he thinks it's hard, somebody else.
Yeah.
Bro, literally, same day, sold.
I remember it was last year, maybe a year and a half ago. Mids were crazy. Mids were going nuts. Like,
Those were amazing.
Like it was probably a number one seller at one point in time. Like we'd buy a mid, it'd sell, boom,
Right
boom,
away.
boom, boom, and they were coming out with crazy colors, like the
They had some
Kentucky
solid
colorway,
colors.
the Kentucky colorway, that brown and white one they were coming out with, the Jim Rudd one they came out with, like.
And they weren't coming out with a lot of OGs at that time.
No, that's
It
the
was
time.
all
Yeah,
mids.
that's the time where like nothing was releasing besides mids
Yeah.
and lows. Mids and lows were like the only thing coming out.
That was
Yeah.
true.
Boom, 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 boom.
They
boom,
were dropping
yeah.
us like crazy.
Yeah, I remember Shadow Toe lows used to sell for like $220.
Bro. Yeah.
I remember it was like a gray and it had like a black neck. It was majority gray, white, and black, but they were up at like 280ish.
Mhm.
Those just,
Anthracite?
maybe.
Yeah,
The mid?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a mid.
Yeah.
So crazy how this shit kind of just always fluctuates, bro.
Especially like when you look at the Jordan 1 market.
Jeez, bro.
Yeah.
That shit tanked.
And people used to
Go
die
crazy for them, man. Like
for those pairs.
about the UNC Black 2 that came out this year. Like that would have been $600 a year ago.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and now it's under retail. Or like I will say what I agree with is like that Royal Reimagined. Like that one I thought was butt. Like,
The sweat?
Yeah.
Those
I
suck,
thought that was
bro.
butt. I
Those
was like,
suck.
because like one of the employees were like, man, this is like, I think I do like this. I go, no, you like the color.
Yeah.
I go, you like
No,
the
you
color.
tweak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't
that's
like
what it
this
is.
shoe.
Yeah.
Like,
What's your favorite release of the year so far?
favorite release of the
Or
year
a
so
couple.
far? It's been. I'd probably have to say it's tied between like. These are just like off the head. Probably Joditos, Supreme SB Dunk,
Yeah, for sure. That one's
Tiffany
crazy.
Air Forces,
I forgot about those. Those are actually a solid one.
probably the SB4s,
Yeah.
and then I do like the white cement.
That's
Bears.
an amazing-
That's a
that's-
good one.
that's one of my top
That's a good
ones.
one. And then I've only had one in the store, but I don't know if you guys seen the Romero Durham-Beckers.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
are crazy.
Those are
Yeah.
crazy.
That's
Those
a
are a
crazy
crazy
one.
shoe.
Those are crazy. I had a pair, but I paid too high because they restocked. Then I was like, yeah.
They were
those
like
are good.
when it, for about what was it about 2 days they were low. They were like $200-300.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere they're just like
$450.
dumb. Yeah.
Yeah, no cap.
Because they didn't make all that many. There weren't that many at all.
And then I think once people got them in hand, they're like, oh, these are.
They
crazy.
knew everything that come
Yeah,
with it.
These are
It's not
crazy.
just the shoe, it's all the patches, it's the
Laces.
multiple laces, it's the
Yeah.
box. It's
Yeah.
The tennis ball material on the shoe.
Yeah.
Obviously, I seen somebody do. What other shoe has a Velcro? I'm trying to think.
That released this year?
I think it was an order release, but I seen someone put one of the Romero swooshes on the shoe, and I was like, "Oh, this is crazy." That's what made me want to buy the Romeros at first because like came with other swooshes, and I was like, "Oh, there's a shoe I want to just throw on there." But I don't know. Those CPFMs that came out this year are crazy too.
Those are wild. Those, bro, I had somebody drive from Chicago to buy that shoe off of me.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, it's not that I hate the shoe, but I was just like, damn. Like, somebody really just
Chicago.
did that whole drive to get
Yeah.
that shoe, you know what I mean?
Couldn't find them in Chicago.
That's what I'm saying. Chicago of all places, but you know.
Like, did not look.
Somebody
good.
got 'em.
Like, I don't know. That's crazy.
That shit was pretty crazy. I think I was telling one of my boys, bro. I don't know if you've seen the Balenciaga. It's like a bouncer sneaker.
Yeah, it's just like that one.
Bro, they didn't finesse them. I ain't gonna lie. I was gonna do a video on that, but I had already sold the Balenciagas. So I was like, fuck.
Yeah. No, it's definitely big. I think, like I said, the market as a whole is changing. It's just kind of switching. I think they killed it with the dunks. Like they did way too many different kind of dunks.
Yeah.
Way too many different colorways. And then, especially like pandas. Like I don't know, you guys still sell pandas?
All day.
Really? Okay. You're not in a mall though, so it's like different because like for us, like
you have all those stores.
Yeah,
there.
at first it was nice because they were gone, right? So they go check the stores and they're not there. Okay, then they come upstairs and they're like, okay, oh y'all got them. Okay, boom, buy 'em. But now every store is getting a new shipment weekly. So
week.
like at first, like
you have like every sneaker store in that mall.
Bro, there's a Snipes in there too.
Yeah,
dude, yeah.
Snipes.
You got
Every
Snipes, you got
foot
detail. Like I'm not gonna lie, at first I was like, oh, I'm excited. There's all these sneaker stores here. Like it's cool.
You
But then it's like
inventory.
some of them I used to because but it was easy to get all the inventory at first when there wasn't that much inventory.
Yeah.
Like one store has 10 pandas, one store has 8 pandas, one store has that. And I would always I'm not the kind of guy that like goes and just completely cleans them out. I always like to leave like some of them. Like, or I always split it because I always split it because I'm like, I don't want people to be like, oh, we're not getting anything because the store upstairs is getting it now. You know what I mean? So I want them to at least go over there, see the shoe on the wall, be like, okay, I can buy it. Boom, have a chance to buy it, right? But like at first it was only like, okay, I had to buy 20. Now each store has 20, and it's like I don't want to buy 100 pairs of pandas. Like it's a lot. But like I guess like another big one is like those green fours that just came out, the crafts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they're in every single store. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, we used to be able to go buy them and have them sell them same day. But
yeah, it's funny because I was walking around with Jackson. I'm like, bro, I seen a Snipes, a DTLR, and then in front of there's like a Foot Locker. I was like, what the fuck?
JD.
And that's just the downstairs. I said JD's over there, right under JD's Champs. Like
no way.
Mm-hmm.
There's a City Gear in there too, right?
Yep. So, no, not anymore. But there's a kids Foot Locker.
Oh,
where City Gear used to be.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
City Gear. Imagine the City Gear was here. The trenches.
That must have been a cook during COVID when it first
release
was going.
I did have a couple people hit me up. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're in a good mall. Like that's it. I used to eat up there." And I'm like, I mean, yeah, there's 8 stores here.
Yeah.
Like go crazy.
Yeah. A little bit for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
What made you guys choose that mall?
It was similar to Fort Wayne to the aspect of there wasn't much like what we have in that area.
Okay.
So, and it was like, okay, if you want to have something to where kind of like us, you got to drive to the city, right?
Yeah.
So it's an hour away. So like our goal, our vision of it was, let's capture everybody who's going to the city, so they don't have to drive. You know what I mean? And there's so many.
An option locally.
Exactly. There's so many little small towns around here that have to drive to the city in order to get something like this, to where it's like, okay, if we do good and we market and we advertise right, which we're still doing, we're still growing, then eventually we'll have that. All those people, all those.
Because you've been open, I think, what, 6 months?
About 6 months, yeah.
About 6 months in that location.
What was that shit that you were saying earlier, G? Is like as time goes, it'll start becoming like we'll only become the only options.
Oh, market share? Increasing market. Okay, so
We were talking about this on the way. It was pretty dope.
I've heard Patrick Bet-David say, like, in a time of recession, of course, which I think is going to happen big to us now, which is why I posted yesterday. I think a lot of the big players who got stuck in their ways aren't figuring it out right now.
Yeah.
And I think they're too stuck. Some are too stuck in their ways to do that. So eventually they'll get washed out.
Yeah.
Like you can be on top forever if you adjust, but that's not the normal scenario.
Yeah.
So I think that in a recession and all these big players get washed out, I think that just leaves room for us to grow.
Yeah.
Knowing what the people want. Like,
Yeah.
people are always going to want something. It's just going to change.
Exactly.
So if you don't change with it, you can't succeed.
Yeah. And that's kind of like what I tell people too. It's like, I mean, that's the same thing. You got to change with it. Like, a lot of people be like, oh, sneaker market's dead. But like, truth be told, like, this is what the sneaker market looked like before COVID, before
it just doesn't sell for over retail.
You know what I mean? Like, this
that's
is what
not
it
an
looked like
issue.
before. Like, there used to be resale shops way back in the day. Like, you know, like when sneakers were first, like,
Flight
if you look
Club.
at 2J's or Flight Club, like, 2J started with, like, the phone posits.
Yeah.
Like, and now he has urban necessities, but like he's saying, it's just something where you have to constantly
Adapt.
Like,
Adapt.
Jordan 1s used to be bought. Like, I remember first time we ever bought Rookie of the Years, we had, like, 30 pairs.
Jeez.
They're $700 now. We weren't selling them for $700.
Yeah.
We were selling them for we were selling for like $230. You know what I mean? So it's like, or like black cement 3s. Like we had like same thing, 30, 40 pairs, but you weren't selling them for what they go for now. You were only selling them for like $40-$50 over retail.
Over retail.
And like you look at it back in the day, and it's, I mean, obviously it's every reseller's thing, right? Oh, I wish I would have held that. You don't know. You don't know to hold it. Like, you know what I mean? You don't really know to hold it.
That is
like,
very true.
And you flipped through a lot of shoes by that time, so regardless, it's not really a missed opportunity.
Like the one like that blows me all the time is Black Cat Forest.
That was insane.
Like we went crazy on Black Cat Forest. We lost so much money on Black Cat Forest because like we went crazy.
That was
Dude, it was so bad.
So bad.
It was so bad. Like we went
They
crazy.
released them when they weren't supposed to. Weren't like they released them like 2 days early.
I don't remember, but like we were just like we got like
I don't think that would have mattered.
like you know like
It-
they
it's still
ended up
great.
sitting in like outlets and stuff like that, and we're like at the time I still believed it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna keep buying this, boom, 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 buying it. And then,
lost hope.
dude, you know what I mean? Like 30 pairs, like 100 pairs in the closet later, and it's like, okay, like
I got a dump.
it's under. I gotta dump these. I gotta dump these. So I remember, like, I think I could find one of the posts still, but like, I remember I was like, okay, size 7, like Black Cat 4, get it under retail now, and like people, I was selling them under retail, and then like I remember, what was that documentary?
The Last Dance.
The Last Dance.
The Last Dance.
Then they went crazy, and I'm like, what the
Like,
heck?
fuck.
Like
It's funny bringing up that. That's like that.
that changed the game.
No cap.
But I will say, like, that is one of the reasons why the market became oversaturated.
Yeah.
Once, like, that happened and people started wanting more sneakers, everybody got into sneakers. And, like,
Yeah.
TikTok too.
you know what I mean? And
TikTok was a huge
all that kind of stuff.
oversaturation.
Like, yeah, like, people would be like, okay, boom, like, oh, I just gotta go wait in line, get a shoe, and I sell it. Because, like, mochas came out shortly after that.
Yeah.
Remember? It's like, you go wait in line, get a mocha, sell it for $400.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
It's not a super hard way to make money, especially at that time.
Exactly.
You just walk into a mall, pick up any shoe, and any shoe was going for more than retail on StockX.
You was going to the Foot Locker outlet right in front of BD
Yeah.
and just grabbing shit and take. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I would go to outlets and I'd just take highest bids
Yeah,
and buy them.
That's all you have to do. Like I remember,
Yeah.
like doing that back then too. Like,
It was a
and,
cheat code.
one thing a lot of people didn't like is like to them because of the way that market was. If it was anything under $20, it wasn't worth their time. You know what I mean? That was one thing that was different from us. Is like I'll make $5, I'll make $10, I'll make $20. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
to me,
absolutely.
it didn't matter. What mattered to me was quantity. So like if there was a mid on the wall at JD, like you're saying, I go to StockX. It says payouts $5 over. I'm saying how many you got? Boom, boom, boom. Hitting this button 10 times. Like
Yeah.
it's
That's
just
where it's
shipping
at,
them.
It just goes with the quote, slow nickels over fast dimes. Just constantly keeping that cash flow. That is like, that's something I like preach on, bro. That's literally like the heart of a fucking business is cash flow. Keeping it moving. Just keeping it moving.
Especially like, it is. It's the one thing where it's like, you got to learn that quick. Because like our first time, it's like the one indicator that was different than compared to what is bills. You know what I mean? You got rent, you got utilities, you got employees. Like none of those stop.
Exactly.
So like, you know what I mean?
That's gonna be there every
It don't
month.
matter how slow the business is. It don't matter how slow the week was, how slow the month was.
They get paid the
You
same.
still get paid. You know what I mean? They get paid the same. They work 30. Joe Schmo worked 30 hours last year. He still owned for 30 hours.
Joe
like
Schmo.
you still got to pay that out. But and that's the thing too. Like you're saying, it's just consistently keeping that cash flow. And I'm not saying that we do it perfect. It's all from experience. There's times where you fuck it up. There's times where you don't do it right, but then you learn from that. You're like, okay,
where it
boom.
looks bad for a week.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You're like, maybe I shouldn't have done that buy. And then like,
Hey, no cap. It be like that. That's just the shit. That's just the shit people don't see though, bro. Honestly, like I've always said, bro. There's those bills are gonna be there at the end of every month, and then especially when you're living on your own, bro. I mean, you got your other rent on top of that. You got groceries you got to take care of. Your phone bills.
Yep.
It's just a lot of shit, bro. But it's just learning how to thug it out, really.
Yep, look at out, manage it, all that kind of stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's worth it though.
Yeah,
at the end of the
for
day,
sure.
it's worth it.
Doing what you love.
Just you waking up every day, doing what you love.
The difficulties make it fun,
Yeah,
I'd say.
growing pains for sure. Definitely make it fun. And like at the end of the day, it's like you said, you're doing what you love. If you don't love it, you're not gonna do it though. You know, like it's just little things like you're like if you don't love being in this industry, you don't love going to the store every day, then you're not gonna do it. Because there's gonna be some days where it's like, man, I don't got enough to schedule 3 employees. I gotta be there.
Yeah.
So you got to be willing to be there at the end of the day, no matter what.
I was watching a Drake interview this morning. He was just like it kind of just goes along with what we're saying. It's like sometimes I go in the studio with Noah, bro. Shit wouldn't even happen. Sometimes we just sit there and chop it up. But it's like there's days like that, bro.
Yeah.
Where there's literally bro. I remember one day I made $5. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, damn.
It'd be like that. Like you just live in the days and you're dead and you're like, the hell did I do this for? Like,
But no,
this
you
is so
start
crazy.
getting
You
too
start
deep
getting
into-
so sick. Like, this is it. It's over.
Yeah. Bro, okay.
And then next week is like it's
Kill
jumping.
it. And then you're like, we on time again.
Going
like,
up from
yeah.
here.
Oh god.
It's
Number
up
up.
here.
Because like,
Thanks
it's just
to
so
everybody.
funny because I remember going into this, me and Serapio sat down, we put a budget together, we put what we really expected to do, and like we were like, okay, you know, we want monthly goal we want to hit is $80K a month.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be good. That'd be able to pay us, pay the bills, do all this, make some
Sales.
money, boom, sales, 80K sales. Yep. Day one we opened up, we did $32,000.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
You know?
Fire.
Black Friday we did $67,000.
Hell yeah.
Fire.
That's
Year
amazing.
one, we did close to $2 million, and
Yeah.
then so now it's like then you go through a slow period, you go through a recession, and then you sit there and you're like, oh shit, what's
You
going
start
on? What's
overthinking
gonna happen?
a
You start
little
overthinking, and then me and Strappy have to think to each other. Me and the other guys, me, Danny, Case, and we sit down. We're like, we started this company only wanted to do $80K a month,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and now we're crying about
That's
only
a good way to
hitting so
look at it,
much.
though.
We talked about that on a podcast with our boy Owen. It's like it's crazy how like the bigger numbers get, but you don't get as high off those big numbers.
You know,
anymore.
it's
Yeah.
like you start getting. It's not greedy. It's not greed, but like in a mindset, you
But
start
it's
getting
ambition.
greedy. You know what I mean? You're like, man, we only did this much. Then you're right. It is the ambition, man. We only did
Yeah.
this much. But then like you have to sit down. You have to realize. You have to be like,
where you started from.
this is where we started from. This is what we only wanted to do. Like
Yeah.
we're fortunate, we're blessed to have done more
Yeah.
and do better to where
And
all
can't
this
nobody
is
tell us
happening.
shit either.
You know, it's like
What me and Lily EG will always say, bro, is just not getting too high on your highs or too low on your lows.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an example. Is like sometimes you have a slow day, you get really low, and you're just like, fuck. But then you gotta step back and be like, bro, like
I'm not starving and I'm not
I'm-
homeless. Like that's all that really matters.
Exactly. Like I'm still in motion. I'm still making shit shake. It's like that's how it is, bro. That's just a
And
part of
nothing's
business,
actually
bro.
wrong.
yeah. And then like and the one thing
Nothing's wrong.
nothing's wrong, and that's
Yeah.
why that's my next point is like then you start the one thing like I said what really got me to start reading more data than what I used to was like man the numbers are a lot lower right and then you go back and then one thing that we kind of picked up on was like wait we're selling the same amount of products though but market dropped
Mm-hmm.
prices
Yeah.
are just lower
Yeah.
Yeah.
so you're still doing the same amount of SKUs
Literally.
prices are just lower
Yeah.
so like now
Profits
you-
might even be the
profit
same.
you know what I mean profit and the crazy thing is like profits are either the same or more now.
Yeah.
So it's like now your break
Yeah.
even's a lot lower. So now that number you wanted to hit, now 80K is 60K. You know what I mean? Now you only got to hit this, or
But
now
it's
you only
more
got to hit
efficient.
50K.
It's more
And
efficient.
now it's more efficient,
That's
and now
what
I can buy more SKUs, and now like the store looks more full, and so like you start taking the good with the bad, and you're like, okay, this is kind of just the new.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is like, boom, like back in the day, triple pinch for $300 if I wanted to buy them.
This is crazy.
Now you're buying them all day for 120.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
Yeah. But you're selling a lot more of them because
exactly
they're a lot.
because they're a lot more attainable.
Yeah.
Because like I said, markets drop. We're like.
That is curation.
I hit Edgar every event, and now he has SKUs that I can buy hundreds of that I could only
Yeah,
buy
his
20s of last
his
time.
prices are
You know what I
crazy.
mean? Like,
Bro, I made so much money with Edgar, bro. Since the very first day I met him, bro, me and him have just done nothing but
it's just
so
cra-
much
that's what I'm
business.
saying, and like that's where it's like, and that's the stuff that kind of gives me hope for like the industry where it's like, okay, it's all the
Shoes will
same.
always sell.
Shoes will always sell. You know,
It
what
just
I mean?
depends on the price
The demand is still there, and that's what it is. It's like once you figure out, okay, your demand's still there. Now, if you're telling me the amount of shoes I've sold were completely lower too,
Yeah.
that's when I would have started
That's an
worrying,
issue.
right? That's when
Yeah.
it's like, oh man, like I'm completely dropping, but
People still like to get fresh. They
Exactly.
just don't want to spend as much to do
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
Which isn't an
That's what we
issue.
always say.
Mm-hmm.
People will always want to get fresh, bro. There's always going to be an event every weekend.
A
There's always going to be a
birthday,
club. Bro, people are
Christmas.
going to come in. Okay, I need some forces. I need some quick jeans. Come on. Just
Especially, like,
easy.
that's how it is in Fort Wayne. That's like probably our number one. Like especially even during slow periods, it's nice because like every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, folks want to go out.
Yeah.
So they stop by the store, grab a new fit, boom, they're outside. Like
They're already ready.
you know,
They're already ready, literally.
like and that's just like I said, little things that kind of like how we're talking in the shop. It's like I want to get as many little things that are cool under $100 that we can, so that way people come in, buy it, whether it's truckers, beanies, shirts, all that kind of stuff. Boom.
That shit is super important. I've always, bro, I've been really big into that lately, and I really just recently got into clothes a lot more. But it's like, bro, I have less invested. I'm making the same profits I'm making on a shoe. So it's like, why would I not do that?
Exactly. You have
Literally,
to.
that shit is so clutch, bro.
It's just clothing probably, but since the beginning, clothing was like our number one item that probably made us the most money because it's like how you saying, like people come in real quick, You need a t-shirt. Like
Yeah.
they might not buy a shoe every visit, but they're gonna buy a shirt every visit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
People need a lot more clothes than they do shoes.
Okay. And even if it's just a quick tee, like.
But another big important thing is once you learn that, it's consistently bringing in new styles because like
Yeah.
if you're anchored in that area and these are the only 4 styles you're selling, then you're gonna go out to the same places these people are at. And everybody gonna look the same. Everybody gonna have the same
they're gonna
deal.
be like,
Everybody gonna have the
"Damn,
same Spider hoodie on, and then like it looks like that Spider-Man meme, and everybody pointing to each other, and
No
like,
cap.
and
The
then-
denim tears.
exactly.
Yeah, no cap. I like
That's
that.
a crazy one too. That just hit the.
The streets.
Denim tears.
Dude.
Yeah.
I seen a video in New York, bro. It was like all they were recording just people walking
In the
there, like-
airport?
yeah,
Dude,
that
and
was
they were
what it was.
all wearing denim
I
tears. I
was
was like, oh, this is
damn.
crazy. But in my head, I'm like, this can't all be real denim tears, right?
Yeah,
Like,
nah.
Nah.
You know what I mean? Like if it's this out there, like it can't be.
No.
Hell no. Not,
Yeah,
not
But
all like
still,
that.
that everybody likes the same style and wants to wear it and has no problem wearing it.
Exactly. that.
Everybody dropping.
Hellstar's going crazy right now, but I will say they are staying creative. So like that's helping. You know what I mean? They keep dropping new stuff, fresh stuff, so that's helping. But it's just changing.
And they're not like flooding.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know what I
but-
mean? They're not flooding.
What's super crazy is I seen I think they posted a screenshot of their Shopify, bro, of release day, or they gave some crazy number of how much they did in sales, bro.
It was nuts.
It was something. It was a crazy ass number. Like I was just like shocked in my because I'm like, bro, that like in sales that was more than like $5 million in a day. You know what I mean? And yeah, each product is like $200 something, but think about how cheap it is to make clothes.
Yeah.
You feel me? So imagine the profits on that.
Yeah. And that's why I said that's like, it's just, and that's the thing is that you just gotta find the right amount of people that mess with your merch and mess with your brand, and then once
Or at
that
least what you
happens,
provide.
You know what I mean? And once that happens, it's just like how they're doing it, just kind of takes off. Like, and they do a good job. Like it's all about the marketing, right? It's all about the social media. It's all about building a community. It's all about who wears it, what wears it, and stuff like that. And like the biggest thing is like, okay, some people say, it's like Virgil said it, like everybody's gonna, if you're gonna wear it and people are gonna rock it, meaning like people are gonna like end up getting fakes or making fakes and selling that thing. But at the same time, that's advertising for them.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You know what I mean? The more of what looks like them is on the market, the more people are gonna want to buy it.
Because they'll see it and want it. I was seeing something too. I think clothing brands a lot lately have been more about selling a lifestyle instead of just a piece of clothing.
Yeah.
It's like kind of showing, like for example, Hellstar kind of give you like that little punk look with the skulls, the recent drop. It's just kind of just adjusting with that and selling that right lifestyle to the people that want it.
Yeah. And that's what it is, right? So you have to sell like nowadays, it's not just selling a cool shirt. It's not just selling, because there's
An image.
There's like so many people that make cool clothing brands that make cool shirts that just don't sell or don't kick up. It's like you said, it's selling an image, it's selling that lifestyle. It's
They're not
like
selling their lifestyle.
this
Well, that's
represents
similar.
me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I feel this when I'm wearing this. You know, stuff like that. And it's like, if you can't do that successfully, then there's probably not a lot of room for growth. But the minute you capture that and you capture your audience and you capture your community and you grow around that, it's over. You're taking off.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. You've been fresh since the day I met you.
Me? No, I just try.
Every time I check his story, bro, just got a crazy. I'm just like, okay. You be putting it on for us. You're like, okay.
Yeah, I'm big into fashion. Like I think especially like probably like year one of the store was obviously like I was only in the sneakers. You know what I mean? But then like you kind of dig into the industry and then you start kind of taking more culture. You start trying to understand the culture more, and you start like, okay, like fashion's cool too. Like or like the pieces that people make or the story behind the people who make the pieces. Like you're selling the lifestyle, and you're like,
And
this is
since
hard.
since you sell fashion, you see how they put it on.
Exactly.
Like a customer might like walking with whatever you sell and be fresh as fuck and be like, damn, now I don't want.
No, what?
Exactly.
But that actually happens so often.
So much. You're like, because like back in the day, I used to pass on so many pieces, and then I see people wearing it, I'm like, that's
tough.
decent for real. Like, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think just what comes along with it too is like clothes for sure. Even just recently for me, it's just I'm like, damn, this is another way I could express myself.
Exactly.
Because it really used to be just shoes.
It's an expression, right? It's
It
like,
really
okay,
used to be shoes.
I can like show who I am like this or stuff like that. And at the same time, it's like, I try to take real good care of myself, like, as in like what I wear, my hair, all that kind of stuff like that. Because it's like, you go to a barbershop, someone has a bad cut, you're not going to let them cut you.
Yeah, no thanks.
You know what I mean? You come to the store, and I'm looking bogus, you're probably not going to shop here. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where it's
Slides
like,
with no socks.
yeah, like your image has to sell what you sell too. So if your image doesn't sell it, then it don't really sell.
If you wear the product nicely, they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was it right there. That's a. Let us just stop.
What was the biggest like roadblock that y'all had when y'all first opened up?
Biggest roadblock? Probably a lot of the back end stuff, like business stuff. Like, what do you have to sign up for? What tax bracket are you? How you file? Insurance, stuff like that. Because, okay, it's more than just like signing a lease. Mm-hmm. Now you sign a lease and there's 15 different requirements to fulfill this lease. Mm-hmm. Whether it's not just paying rent. Like, you gotta have this insurance. Utilities. You gotta have this utility. You gotta have this in your name. You gotta do this. And it's like, okay, so you do that, you set that up, and then there's another obstacle. And then you do it again, and do it again. And then, like, I'd probably say, other than that, what we learned, at first we didn't know was a stop roadblock, was probably the amount of inventory. We probably started with like $75,000 worth of inventory. And we thought that was enough. There was a lot of shoes in our head, right? Mm-hmm. And then you open up, and like I told you, we did 32,000 day one, and now
store looks empty.
You know? Yeah. And like day two wasn't any slower. It was like 15,000, so it's like now store's super empty. But so I think the roadblock was in the beginning was just consistently restocking. In the beginning, we got lucky because there was a lot of events. So that's when a lot of people figured out who we were from events, because we didn't, like, in the beginning, we never cashed out events just so you could see who we were. We cashed out events because, like, we need inventory. We need shit. We need to fill these shelves. So, like, I remember day 3, we actually closed a shop, went to SneakerCon in Chicago, went crazy there. Spent maybe like $35,000, came back. Sunday, we went to another event, spent about the same amount of money. And then like the next week, somebody came in, had a list that was like 30,000. They came in, we cashed them out for 30,000. And then like probably I'd say our biggest event that we ever did, not ever did, but within that year was Sneaker Freaks. That's where a lot of people ended up like learning about who we were and stuff like that. Because I think we spent like $69,000 at that event. And then
I've definitely never spent more than 20 at one time.
No, yeah. Then we had like 5 tables at that event, and we just it wasn't vending at all. It was just buying, and that's kind of like from that point on. Anytime we went to an event, we never vent. We just bought. Yeah. And so like we had 5 tables, and it was cool. It was crazy. It was probably the funnest event I've ever been to, because we had I held the whole team there. We had the shop closed for a week, and then I had people there at the store wrapping. I had the people inputting like at the event. So like I'd buy something, I'd give it to this guy, he's inputting into the system. This guy takes it, then he wraps the shoe, and it goes to a pile. So by the time we got to the store, it's ready to go. It's ready to hit the shelf.
That's solid.
You know, and it was cool. But then like I remember like we would just buy, we'd go to every table buy, and then people would come to us and we would just like buy whatever they had and stuff like that. And ever since then, like we go to events in the Midwest, and people are like, "Oh, Les Mills is here. Like, what y'all buying?" And we're like, "Okay." It sucks now because it's like I go to events sometimes just to chill now, and people are like, "Oh, what are you gonna buy?
Yeah,
come buy." And I'm like, "Oh man, I can't just chill." Whatever, if the deal's right, I'll buy it.
Okay.
But now we kind of started going outside the Midwest. It's kind of like our goal for these next coming years is go outside the Midwest, and you see different shoes, because like kind of what's happening right now is I'm seeing the same stuff at every event now. Yeah. So, and like there's a group of 5 people I mainly buy from if I'm at an event. Like her being one of them, where it's like I'll just call these 5 guys and just buy it instead of having to go to an event and bring it back to the store. Yeah. You know what I mean? So now it's like I'm gonna try to go outside the Midwest. Like we just went to New York. We didn't make a video, but we spent like $80,000 in New York. Fuck. On inventory. It was just like crazy for 2 days. New York got sold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we went crazy there. And then
hella crazy.
And then came home. I think one event I was supposed to go to Got Soul in Dallas, but Black Friday's coming, so we had a bunch to do to get ready for it. So we just didn't do that. But I think the next one we're going to go to would be there is another one in Dallas in December, so I think I might hit that. But like I said, we're just trying to step outside.
Houston Con?
Yep, Houston Con.
I think I'm going on that one.
Yeah. Houston Con.
Yeah, that should be dope.
Events are fun. Events are cool. That's what we started as. We started as vending at events. Like, I mean, you guys see us at event vending, you know what I mean?
That was fun.
But yeah, it was cool.
Been a long time. That was I'm pretty sure it was probably like 2.5 to 3 years ago. Because we were just about to open up.
I miss vending at events. Like, sometimes I miss it, but then sometimes I don't, because it's like, if you're vending at an event, you got to be there all day. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? You're there all day to where it's like, at 1 o'clock, like if you guys see me at an event, I'm probably leaving at 1 o'clock. I'm saying bye. I'm saying bye to everybody I know, and I'm out the door. Like,
Okay.
but if you're vending, you gotta either selling everything you got, or you're there all day.
Yeah, for sure.
Gotta be dedicated.
It's a long day.
There's a lot of people that just walk past. A lot of people that just walk past me all the time.
You guys met at Chicago got sold that one year. I don't. You weren't there, but I think you guys
Jerry.
had people there.
Jerry
With
went up.
Jerry,
Yeah, so
yeah.
you guys had people there.
Oh yeah.
Let's move.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been to an event, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. It's been a very fat minute. I was gonna go to the one this past weekend, but you said it was alright, but you ended up going crazy.
Yeah, it was nice. It was pretty bad.
It was bad.
Secret Travelers.
You made the best of it.
No. Yeah, it was Secret
Secret Travelers,
Travelers.
yeah.
So they brought in a lot. Well, we were the only table that really had pairs.
Yeah,
So like we did good, but like if there were more people, we would have done a lot better.
yeah.
Yeah, there's been a very big saturation in events for sure.
It's not like a consumer market anymore. Consumers don't go to events anymore.
No.
That's
Like,
true.
You know, like back in the day, consumers would go to events.
Well, I think it's marketing. I honestly don't think because
Like they're marketing to resellers.
Yeah, they're marketing to resellers, and they don't know how to market to your average Joe that wants to buy shoes.
What's the putting it for the collection?
Yeah, because I was talking with the owner of that event, and he was like, "Honestly, bro, we only just like marketed it the last week." I'm like, "Bro, if you would have pushed this a month out and actually tried for a month, this would have been a way better event than what you have."
Yeah.
Yeah, not for real. That is exactly how you guys described it. It's just a whole bunch of resellers now.
And the same resellers.
All of the
Same
same.
This
resellers.
is it, resellers.
Same resellers. Same 10 tables have the same 10 shoes. And man, I just bought this shoe and I gotta buy it again.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just about adjusting.
Evolving.
Adjusting to the market, literally. That's really the number one key when it comes down to anything. I feel like really just any business, just knowing how to move and in the slow times. What I always tell him, just in those times, is like when it's slow times. That's when I usually hit him up more to sell a lot of my shit, and then even just DZ too, because then it's like, okay, it's not moving that store. Let me just keep that cash flow and keep this money moving just to keep surviving through this time, you know.
That's a big part.
These are actually really clean apartments, bro.
Appreciate it.
You have a nice ass view in the back.
I try.
I try.
You don't smoke, do you?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Front camera.
No, I do not.
EG would have been out there blazing.
No cap.
You don't think that's a good part to end?
I think that's solid.
That's cool,
Solid?
man. Yes, sir. Hell yeah.
Well, that's it for this episode, man.
Passion Over Profit Podcast. There, my boy Midwest.
Yes,
Pete.
sir. Tap in.
Yes,
To the
sir.
next
Appreciate you, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
I was like,
Yes, sir.